Devin Booker was picked with the 13th pick in the 2015 NBA draft. He is currently having one of his best seasons where he recently got named to his second All-Star game. He's currently averaging 25.1 points per game on 49.7 field goal. He's averaging 36.2% from the three-point line, 3.7 rebounds, and 4.6 assists per game. This is currently his best season in the NBA, and he's looking like he could potentially be the Phoenix Suns' greatest player of all time. Currently playing at an all-NBA level, and he's currently scoring off the court as well. Currently dating Kendall Jenner, which I believe is one of the main reasons why he will become a Los Angeles Laker within the next 2 seasons. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Mitch Johnson back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about the Devin Booker situation. So he's currently 24 years old, and he's having one of his best seasons of his career, which is absolutely great for him. You know, he recently signed a massive contract extension worth $158 million. You know, that's insane money. He's still got 3 years left on his contract, so he's going to be a Phoenix Sun for a little bit of time, although I believe he will be a Los Angeles Laker before we know it. Now, a couple reasons. Number one, he's dating Kendall Jenner. Also, the fact that if the Phoenix Suns honestly don't make at least the second round this season, they're currently second overall in the West, you know, above the Lakers, Clippers, Warriors, things like this. They're looking like a powerhouse this season, although that's honestly run on the back of Chris Paul, and Chris Paul's not getting any younger, and he could potentially slip up in the next season or two. So this is really his I believe, unless DeAndre Ayton explodes next season, his potential last chance to make it as a Phoenix Sun on his current contract, because the Phoenix Suns aren't exactly a destination for players to go to. Although if they potentially trade for some players, or get a high draft pick again, although they had a bunch of those, like Josh Jackson, who didn't work out. DeAndre Ayton looks like he's going to do pretty well for the team, but it's all going to come down to Devin Booker. Now, it's hard to say. He's been trying to carry the team for the past 5 years. He's averaged 22.7 points per game over his whole career. He came into the league averaging 13.8 points per game, then exploded to 22 and 24, 26, 26, and now he's dropped off a little bit, 25.1, but he's averaging like almost 2 minutes less per game, and in that minute he'll get a free throw or a bucket or something. But Chris Paul, they should have honestly kept Kelly Oubre Jr. He looked like a young star for the Phoenix Suns. The only way I can see the Phoenix Suns potentially keeping him after this contract is if DeAndre Ayton explodes, or they can steal, LeBron James Jr. or someone like that in the next coming up drafts. He's looking like he could potentially be, if he stays with the Phoenix Suns and potentially wins them, brings them into the playoffs for a couple more seasons, keeps winning All-Star games, playing at an All-NBA level, he could potentially be the greatest Phoenix Sun of all time. At that moment it's Steve Nash. It's going to take a lot of effort. Steve Nash had 2 MVPs. So, it's going to be difficult for him. But when it all comes down to it, Devin Booker's, got the whole future ahead of him. He's only been in the league 5 years. That's insane. He's got at least 10 more years left on him, minimum, probably at this type of level. He's only coming up to his peak. That's scary to think. So to think he could potentially go to the Lakers and team up with Anthony Davis and a potential other star. Because the Lakers, they have that opportunity. They're a big city, things like that. Phoenix, not so much. I mean, Phoenix is a nice place from what I've heard. I've never been there. I live in Australia, but it's going to be hard for them. The only way I can really, but it's going to come down to Devin Booker, really. And so what as it sounds, if this Kendall Jenner thing works out, he could potentially request a trade if they if they drop off this season and possibly get bumped out in the first round, I can see him, potentially requesting a trade or demanding a trade. And I can see people like the Phoenix Suns, Celtics, who else? Knicks, maybe. Mess around in the Brooklyn Nets, try and trade like someone like James Harden or Kyrie Irving. If they don't work out, that could potentially be a thing as well. But it's all going to come down to pretty much how the Phoenix Suns play this season. I reckon this is the make or break year for Devin Booker as a Phoenix Sun, because the second overall at the moment. They're doing very well. If they potentially if they start losing some games, potentially drop down to like a 5th or 6th seed, even a 7th if things go really bad, he's definitely going to demand a trade. And I reckon he'll potentially either go to somewhere like the Los Angeles Lakers. I reckon they could finesse, Kyle Kuzma for Devin Booker, and some picks. The Celtics, obviously they've got all these assets. It's insane. Even the Timberwolves potentially, actually, him paired up with D'Angelo Russell and Carlton Towns. Those three are best friends. They went to all of these camps together. They all came in the same year. First, second, and 13th pick. That's pretty dope. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you all for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe.